Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope you are all fine and safe. Dear students, today I will discuss how to write a flowchart, a topic from your first paper. And flowchart is a very important item as it is a new item for you. Dear students, today we will discuss on flowchart. So, let's start the class. What is a flowchart? A type of diagram that represents a work or information flow, a step-by-step approach of giving information from a passage or an article. Chronology of information must be maintained. How to make a flowchart? Making box. If you don't make box, it will carry no mark. So, dear students, keep your mind that making boxes for flowchart is very important and compulsory. Using arrows between boxes. Numbering the boxes. Flowchart can be made in two ways. First one is horizontal. Now we are looking at the horizontal flowchart, and then vertical numbering or vertical flowchart. So, dear students, two kinds of flowchart, and you can make a flowchart in a horizontal form and you can make a flowchart in vertical form. What is a flow chart? How to make a flow chart? You can't use any complete sentence. So, no complete sentence is used to make a flow chart. Short notes will provide the information. Providing information using phrase. No subject, no full stop. How to make phrase? You have to use phrase to make a flowchart. So, how we'll make a phrase? You can make a phrase by using verb plus ing, to plus main verb, noun phrase, omitting the subject, using past participle information also can be given. So, let's practice a flowchart. For that, you have to read the given passage or seen passage very carefully, as you have to give the information according to the passage. The passage must be read carefully and the information must be placed as they appear in the given passage. The history of Bengal is the history of a people who have repeatedly made their highways crimson with their blood. We shed blood in 1952, even though we were the victors in the elections of 1954. We could not form a government then. Dear girls, you can understand that this is a part of the historical 7th March speech delivered by our father of nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Please carefully notice the important information and the dates and the years that will help you to make a flowchart. You can also underline the important event, incidents and the dates and years. In 1958, Ayub Khan declared martial law to enslave us for the next 10 years. In 1966, when we launched the 6-point movement, our boys were shot dead on 7 June. When after the movement of 1969, Ayub Khan fell from power and Yahya Khan assumed the reins of the government, he declared that he would give us a constitution and restore democracy. We listened to him then. A lot has happened since and elections have taken place. I have met President Yahya Khan. I have made a request to him, not only on behalf of Bengal, but also as the leader of the party which has the majority in Pakistan. I said to him, you must hold the session of the National Assembly on 15 January. But he did not listen to me. He listened to Mr. Bhutto instead. At first, he said that the meeting would take place in the first week of March. We said, fine, we will be taking our seats in the assembly then. I said, we will carry out our discussion in the assembly. I went so far as to say that if anyone came up with an offer that was just, even though we were in the majority, we would agree to that offer. Dear girls, this is the given passage, and from this passage we are going to make a flow chart. So here is the question. Read the above text and make a flow chart showing how people of East Pakistan were oppressed and betrayed by the Pakistani ruler. Number 1 has been done for you. In the question paper, always number 1 is done for the students, and you have to write 5 information in 5 boxes. So dear students, now look at the first information given in your question. Bloodshed in 1952. Then, if you read the passage carefully, you will notice the information I have written in the boxes are given serially. According to the passage, these information appear one after one, and there I have maintained the serial. Number 2, not allowed to form government, declared martial law, killed boys on 7 June, ignored Bangabandhu's request, promised to hold assembly in March. So, dear students, I hope you have already noticed that I have not used any complete sentence, any full stop. I have given the information according to the passage as they appear one after one in the passage. Now, here is the second passage Read the passage which discusses some of the greatest scientific achievement in the last 50 years. So, let's read the passage, dear students. We human beings tend to forget how far we have come as a species in a relatively short period of time. It was only in the 1870s when we had the first house that was lighted with electricity. Cars just started to become available 100 years ago. Charles Lindbergh made the first transatlantic flight in 1927. So, dear students, mark the important incidents, events, and the years and dates that will help to make a flow chart. Televisions did not become widely available until after World War II. In other words, the advances humankind has made in a relatively short period of time have been nothing short of extraordinary. Perhaps just as extraordinary is how we tend to simply adapt to these incredible changes, not realizing how completely our world has been altered in a short span of time. With that in mind, it is worth looking back at some of the amazing scientific advances we have made in the last few decades. Then the passage continues. The artificial heart. There is nothing that piques the interest of a human being quite as much as the prospect of living a longer life. Implanting a person with an artificial heart in 1982 was an extraordinary step towards increasing the human lifespan. A Seattle-based dentist, Dr. Barney Clark, was the first person implanted with the Jarvik 7, an artificial heart intended to last a lifetime. The Jarvik 7 artificial heart was designed by Robert Jarvik. Though the patient survived 112 days, it was a huge step towards the development of the heart transplant surgery. One day, more advanced version of artificial organs will likely allow us to live much longer and more productive lives. When we get there, we will owe a lot to Robert Jarvik artificial heart. Then the cell phone. Phones have been around since the late 1800s, but cell phones made their appearance only in the 1990s. Today, by some estimates, more than 100 million people in Bangladesh and more than 4.6 million people worldwide have mobile phones. Anything that is useful and spreads so fast has to be considered one of the greatest inventions of all time. Just 2 decades ago in Bangladesh, even landlines were difficult to obtain, let alone mobile phones. Today, people from social strata use cell phones, from street vendors to business executives in luxury cars, and from villagers to urbanites. Since May 2015, Bangladesh joins its South Asian neighbors India, 1862 million, and Pakistan, 122 million, on the list of countries with 100 million or more mobile phone users. The other countries on the list are China, Russia, Brazil, the United States, Indonesia, Japan, Germany, the Philippines, and the Nigeria. Here is the question. Read the above text and make a flowchart showing how human beings are benefited by the greatest achievement of science. As usual, number 1 has been done for you. Dear students, number 1, by inventing electricity, you have to write the 5 information in other boxes. Number 2, by making flights, by inventing television. Number 4, by implanting artificial heart. 5, by inventing cell phones, by making communication easy. So, dear students, that's all for today. I hope now you yourself can make a flowchart. Thank you very much.
저거 막